Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, She Sews Happiness. I'm Mary Ellen and yeah, I'm here really today to catch up. Apologies, I've been gone for a couple of weeks. I did actually get a vlog ready to go, but I just have not had the chance to get the laptop out, turn it on, start the uploading process and write the blurb. God honest truth, things have just been all go. And Simon came in from work this evening and the first thing I said was, look, before I do anything else, before any chores or anything you're caught up on, he was like, but I have to cut the grass. Like, no, grass can wait. I want to go and record and catch up with you lovely folk. So hopefully you're all doing well since I was last here. Hopefully you've been creating lovely things in your spaces too. But yeah, this is basically going to be a big share as to what I have been making, and there's quite a few little projects in here as well for Henry, because if you remember back in my Selfless Sews vlog for the challenge on Instagram, I couldn't really reveal any of those things until the end of April, so it's taken me from the 30th of April until now to get a moment to actually sit down and chat to you about those makes. But lovely challenge. I got a beautiful prize as well, which I'll share with you because, I mean, who doesn't love a prize? But yeah, it's really just a hi. Really sorry I've been gone, but I have been making things in the interim and I'll share those with you as well. You can see this miracle behind me. That is my sew over Dorothy jacket that I have been pretty much threatening to make since January. I have finally made some progress, you'll be glad to hear, and it's almost finished. There really is just finishing touches, but we'll come back to that one a little bit later on. So the first thing then to share with you is an absolutely adorable make that was for Henry for Easter, and it was this little pattern here that I used. It was Helen Newton's little bunny pattern, which came as a kit, and it was such an absolutely gorgeous little make. So here is the bunny himself, and look at his beautiful little tail. His little arms and legs are jointed because they're finished off with little buttons. So yes, this was not a Henry you can play with this or put it in your mouth make. It's a cute little Easter bunny that will come out every year and sit ever so proudly in his nursery. But yeah, an absolutely adorable little pattern. I picked up a few tips about toy making, so that's something I hadn't really meddled in before. I had only made one other little thing, sewing that is. I used to knit quite a lot of toys for the kids in the family, and a few of those are still knocking about, and I'm sure I'll do the same for Henry as well as he comes of age. But yeah, this was my first make and it was an Easter make, as was the second thing that I made. So the next thing onto the sewing table was a very quick make. I'll pop a little picture in for you here. So basically I went out looking for a cute Easter outfit because as a family we were all getting together, being Henry's first Easter, and we were heading off to one of the National Trust properties for the day, and I wanted him to have just a little cute Easter garment to wear. And while the stores were flooded with things for girls, the baby boy section had absolutely nothing in any of the stores that I went to. So I knocked up my favorite ever sweater pattern for Henry, the Poppy and Jazz strawberry sweater, and I got onto my Cricut machine, which I think I hadn't used in about 2 years. No, maybe more like a year and a half. Anyhow, a long time. And I think now possibly that Henry has come along, I may end up using it an awful lot more, especially when he starts having like little parties and things like that. I think it'll be really useful. But I just did some iron-on vinyl for my first Easter, and he proudly wore this for his first Easter with the family, and it was really cute. Yeah, simple make. Lots of these were simple makes because lots of these were tiny little makes. The next thing then that I made was for Star Wars Day. So Star Wars Day, May the 4th, obviously, I made another little garment for Henry. I couldn't resist. It's just too cute to make these little themed things. And the pattern that I used was the classic Oxford shirt from Peekaboo Patterns. Not a pattern company I'd ever heard of before I started searching for baby shirt patterns. And I absolutely loved it. It was foolproof. You know, it still took a couple of hours because it's fiddly and you've got your little pockets and your top stitching and all of that to do, but absolutely so worth doing. And I'll stick a couple of pictures in just so you can see how absolutely adorably cute he is. The fabric itself I just picked up from Hobbycraft one day when I was in getting a few supplies, and I thought, well, why not? You know, I can be that ridiculously indulgent mother. And of course it appealed to Simon because he's such a huge Star Wars fan. And yeah, that was another little mix. So then the next thing that came up was the King's coronation. And while I'm not really a monarchist per se, I thought it would be quite cute to make him a little outfit that could be popped into the family album, a picture on the coronation day. I'm sure you'll see a couple more of those in his lifetime, but for many people it was a huge event. So I saw this gorgeous little fabric. I think it was Jelly Fabrics, I believe. Yes, it was Jelly Fabrics. And again, I made up a little strawberry sweater, and I'll just pop the picture in so you can have a look and see. And that's what Henry was wearing when he was watching the coronation ceremony. So that was the next thing that I made. I'm trying to remember what else. I also made for him, again, there was another little strawberry sweater because basically I was using up remnants from sweaters that I had made for Simon. I had a little bit of CU at 6 black French terry that just needed used up because I'm trying to have less tiny remnants and scraps around the place. And I had some gorgeous cuffing, Valentino cuffing, ex dead stock fabric. So I made him a little mini me tracksuit with little birch trousers, another poppy and jazz pattern. And I don't think I've got a picture of him in them yet, but I have pictures of the little garments, probably, because I would have posted them for the Selfless Sews Challenge, and I'll look them out and pop those in there for you so you can have a look at those. And I think that pretty much rounds up all of the little makes that I had. And they were really quite themed, apart from that little tracksuit. They all pretty much were part of events that have been happening over the last few weeks. So it was really nice to indulge that. And then in terms of things that I made for myself, there was something I was making. I think I shared my cardigans with you in the last video. Oh yes, and I was finishing off my Capulet Patterns Moneta dress, which I did finish off on my wonderful cover stitch, which is an absolute revelation. I wish I had one of these before. And I know I've only been sewing for about 3 years. Yeah, just 3 years. And many people have been sewing a lot longer and have never invested in one. But for me, when I sew my jersey, and I sew quite a lot of it, I just think it's going to elevate those makes. And particularly I've noticed now little hands are doing this. And on a couple of necklines, I've heard that, you know, as the stitches get torn. So obviously my cover stitch will stop that happening from any of my future makes, and I'm going to go back and revisit some of my makes and actually just restitch them so that they have a bit more longevity. So I finished it. I'll pop a picture in, and that was the lovely fabric that came in April's So Hayley Jane box, which I'll be coming to later. I'll record my reveal video later on. It just arrived today. I haven't even opened it yet. And annoyingly, I've seen glimpses of everything everywhere because mine's taken a little longer to get here. This month it's taken over the week to get here, which is odd. But yeah, I tried to avoid the spoilers. The YouTube videos were coming up and I was like, don't hit on it, don't hit on it, because I quite like the surprise, even though that was the thing that put me off buying it in the first place. I didn't subscribe because, I don't know, the idea of a surprise didn't appeal to me, but we change. And now I've lost the surprise because lots of people have it on their cutting tables, and I've seen glimpses accidentally on stories and things as well. So yeah, the element of surprise is gone for me, but perhaps you'll fare better if you're not a subscriber and you're interested in seeing what's inside. I will share that with you in a few hours. Okay, I'm going to be uploading like crazy, I think, over the next 48 hours. So yes, that's the next thing I made. And then, as I say, I've started to make some progress on my Sew Over It Dorothy jacket, which has been quite a monumental make, only because my levels of procrastination reached an all-time high. And I don't know why. I think it's because it's a very utilitarian make. It's not a pretty dress, it's not, you know, frilly and flowery, and it's just a black waterproof jacket that I will wear all the time. So really I should have been making it a long time ago when I said I was going to make it, because I need it. I live in Ireland. Ireland is known for being one of the wettest places on earth. You know, or summer is wet, or winter is wet, or spring or autumn are wet. And it's very, very rare you get more than 2 or 3 sunny days without the rain interjecting and ruining everything. Not that I really care for the sun anyhow. I mean, look at this skin. But yeah, I've made some progress. Basically, all I've left to do is get the drawstring in. And I have no excuse for not doing it, to be perfectly honest. It's sitting right here with the stoppers. And then I have to get all of the press fasteners in, and again they're here. I got all my hardware from Jenny at Jenny Stitches. The fabric for my jacket itself is from Minerva as part of the brand ambassador program. They've actually gifted it to me, and I really need to get that sorted and get a post up sharing all the details of it, and of course I'll share it on here as well. And I will chat to you a little bit more in the future about the construction and the sizing and all of that, because I do like sharing my thoughts on patterns. So where else are we? Oh, and there was one other thing. Henry turned 5 months old, and as you know, if you've been coming to my channel, you know that every month I make a milestone sweater for him. And Kelsey, it's the strawberry sweatshirt again, but just because of his absolute adorableness, I'm just going to pop it in so you can see that that has been done. And yeah, I've been doing all right in terms of the makes, most of them tiny makes, so that's not difficult. The more involved makes obviously are taking a long time, despite being 5 months. He thinks he's 5 years old, and naps now are like 10 minutes 20 if you're lucky, like 20 on a really good day, and you don't get very much done in that time. And over the last week, all I've really got to do, you can see here, a really rough toile in progress, which I will come back and share more information about in the next week or two. But yeah, I've got that done, and I've made adjustments to the pattern that I'm using. Again, it's for the Jenny Stitches blog, so I'm not going to say too much about it until it's done, because I like an element of surprise. So yeah, we'll see how I get on with that. Really proud of how I got on with the fitting, because my bust measurements are so out of control with breastfeeding and all of that. So between my upper bust and my full bust is now like a 7-inch measurement, and yeah, that requires work. That's not something that you can just take out of the paper packet and run up. And I'm always really jealous of people who can do that and don't have to make bust adjustments. And if they do, they're making, you know, small bust adjustments. A part of me would love to be doing that. But yeah, that's not my lot, I'm afraid. And while it was difficult enough before, because I remember agreeing to be one of the testers for a Stitch Witch pattern, I think it was the Capulet dress, and just because of the shape, it was like basically a bustier, very simple bustier, but because, you know, my boobs were so much bigger than the B cup that it was graded for, when I made the adjustments I needed to make, it was so blown out of proportion that actually I would have had to have created my own block to make a dress that looked like that on me. So I actually abandoned it, unfortunately, and it was such a beautiful pattern. I was really excited about it, but no, it just wasn't going to work. Now thankfully I have got on okay with this one, so I'll be able to share that with you. Now, I don't know if any of you are knitters, but I have recently got back into knitting. My good friend Tina has had a knitting group that has been going for ages around where I live. And she invited me quite a few times, and while I was pregnant I was like too tired and whatever. I just wasn't feeling it at the time. But in the last few weeks I've started going back, to my knitting, and I've joined this lovely group of ladies. So thanks to Tina for the invite. It's really nice to kind of feel inspired to get back into something again. And I have knitted a couple of really cute little garments for Henry. So I'll share them with you just in case any of you are into knitting and it's something you might want to see. So the first pattern I tried out was this little pattern here. It is a Stylecraft pattern made in Wondersoft, and because I love him in natural colours, I chose this kind of oatmeal-y biscuit colour. And it's gorgeous, just that little garter detail, and yeah, have it blocked, it's ready to go. But we have had a couple of hot days, so I haven't managed to get it on him yet and try that. And the other thing I made, looking forward to autumn winter, is a little cardigan, which is a James C. Brett chunky knit pattern. There is a hooded version of this, but I just went for the cardigan itself, and I will show you the final product. It's so cozy and lovely. It's really sweet. I absolutely love it. That'll keep him cozy when we're out for our walks. So yeah, that's all that I've been sewing up until this point, unless something has totally escaped my memory, but I don't think it has. So yeah, I just thought I really need to catch up, because otherwise things are going to get ridiculously out of control, and it'll take me an hour to basically share what I've been up to if I don't get a vlog made soon. So I am going to go and do a couple more things. I have some beautiful things to show you that have arrived, so I'll talk about some future plans. And I also have my So Hayley Jane box, which I am going to record the unboxing of, even though there's loads out there already. You may not have seen them if you don't follow all the usual faces when it comes to the subscription reveals. So yeah, that's my plan, and then I'll have to go and see how the boys are doing and get back to cooking dinner and being mummy again. So hopefully I'll get these videos uploaded in the next couple of days. But as ever, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If you're a subscriber, then I do appreciate that. If you're not, please do hit the subscribe button, because hopefully there will be lots of nice content coming up. I'll share this with you. I'll be sharing the dressmaking project that I'm working on. I also need to upload my unboxing of my beautiful Janome 2000 CPX cover stitch machine. It's recorded, just not uploaded yet. And I will come on again and record progress on that, because I've had the chance to play with it a little bit and try it out. And yeah, I'll share my thoughts on that with you and just show you how it works as well if I get the chance. But for now, thank you again for coming by, and happy sewing, and I'll catch up with you all again very soon.